Welcome back to From the Backseat Football Podcast. We're back. The original lineup is here. It's been a little while actually since we've done any recording, so it's nice to be back in the hot seat. We're covering all the Premier League games minus two. The main one being North London Derby weekend, Arsenal versus Tottenham in a very tasty affair. Some other games that we're going to talk about. I've kind of given up on intros and we're just going to run with it. So I'm joined, as always, but not always, by Jack.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I enjoyed working with Ash, but it's good to have Hugh back. He's a more experienced pro. We've gone with the safe hands this week. You know?
As that intro shows you, this
is a solid podcaster. This is a guy who knows how to deal with all
drinking my Madri as well whilst we're very professional. I was about to cheer you. Cheers, lad.
Right, so this is the first time. I think this is the first time ever we're actually doing it in the same room with video. So, yeah.
You're going to see us looking at the camera, then looking up, then looking down, then looking up, and looking down. So bear with us. We're new to this.
It's logistics. But we got all the gear, we stopped faffing around, and we're going to deliver some great content. So, yeah. We're going to do 8 games. We decided to just sack off 2. Well, Q decided to sack off 2, and I can't bother to argue about
Thank me
doing
later, guys. Thank me later.
We're not doing 0-0s anymore. If you draw 0-0, you're officially cut from the pod, unless it's Arsenal Liverpool, then we'll probably do it.
Big Six favouritism, biasness.
Yeah. It turns out, Luton fans, you weren't vocal enough. You didn't listen to enough episodes, so you have been binned. Same with you, Fulham and Palace. Shame on you. We tried to give you content.
It's true. They had to go. They've got to go. Anyway, Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2. I'm not happy about this.
You're not happy about it?
I'm not happy about it.
I think it's a good point against a top 4 rival.
It's not a good point. It's a very bad point as an Arsenal fan. I'm very unhappy. Where do we start? To be honest, it was the first half was a tale of two halves, right?
Mm-hmm.
We dominated arguably the first 25 without doing too much. Had some chances. Thinking of Nketiah through on goal. You know, we were really pressing them to death and they were trying to play out from the back, as expected.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought going into this that them playing out from the back would be their downfall, you know. So many times this season we've had stodgy blocks, low blocks the whole time, and it's trying to unpick the defence like Everton last week. And I thought if Tottenham play with their kind of... forgot the word. If they play with their new way of playing, which is basically attack, play out from the back, then I thought we were just going to slice through them.
I thought it was good. They stuck to it though, even when they did get caught out and make mistakes. They're a different Tottenham. They're actually positive and they don't panic under pressure, even when they do fuck up and make mistakes, which is interesting.
What was noticeable was their midfield is a completely different beast compared to last year. Basuma and Pape Sarr, hurts me to say, had a really good game. So I was very impressed with them. If anything, they dominated the midfield. And we'll come on to that second half why. But yeah, it was a really, 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 really good first half. Very competitive. I think Tottenham may have edged it by the end. Went 1-0 up, right? Lovely own goal from Romero. What a finish at the near post, can I just say? And it was all good. You know, we were bouncing.
Yeah.
Emirates was bouncing. You're thinking, right, here we go. Let's capitalise on that. And even going into like the 33rd minute, you're thinking, Tottenham, they're kind of going into themselves a little bit. And then I don't know what happened. They just turned it on and suddenly there was relentless pressure against us. And
do you think it was just coming? It was just a natural conclusion that Arsenal have a fast start, then they tail off for a bit, start really strong in the second half, tail off a bit, end really strong. You sort of play best around the starts and ends of
you can't be on top from start to finish unless you're Manchester City, let's be fair. And it was coming. That's the disappointing bit, is that even when they equalised, it wasn't like a run against play. Up until that, they had 2 amazing saves from Raya. And then, they got their equaliser, which was very tasty. Lovely little turn by Maddison on left wing. Pull back for Heung-min Son.
Love Son.
Death finish, that, wasn't it? It was a beautiful finish.
Mate, it's just nice to see him back. I've got a good stat about Son. He's got 5 goals in 6 games this season. And last season, he got 10 all season. So he's picked up the mantle of being that talismanic striker from Harry Kane. That's bloody love Son. I'm not going to lie to you. I just think he's great. It helps that he's Asian. And that's it, really. That's my bias, but I really like him.
I didn't like him this game.
But you respect him.
I respect him. And like I say, they did deserve it. I mean, that Raya save, I don't know if you saw that off the line.
It was unreal.
I was just like, well, we're not gonna, if we didn't concede before half time, completely different game, but terrible time. I know it's very cliche, but it was a terrible time to concede for Arsenal.
Unbelievably cliche. I guess that's that then. David Raya, third start in a row. Seems like he's now the go-to starting goalkeeper.
Well, man at the pub made a very good point, as they usually do when it comes to football. Ramsdale got 5 games, so arguably Raya may get 5 games.
It's
and
just
then
going to
Ramsdale may get 5 games. And there is the argument for consistency amongst keepers, which I get. Let's not forget, Raya was the preferred option before we bought Ramsdale. So right now, optics don't look great for Ramsdale, but he's just signed a new long-term contract. I don't think he's going to be playing second fiddle for long. And if anything, he needed a little kick up the bum because he was prone to a clanger or two. But all this Ramsdale slander from the fan base is pretty upsetting, to be fair.
It's fickle, mate. Fickle fans,
fickle. It is fickle.
I feel like Arsenal fans are quite fickle at the moment. You've had it a bit too good last season, and you've forgotten all of that. Ramsdale was a great player last season. Made a few mistakes, looks a bit ropey.
He was
but
the Premier League goalkeeper of the year.
That's foolish. Is that accurate? Is that true?
He got the little award, didn't he?
That's so dumb.
Why is that dumb?
Because he was not the best goalkeeper last year. He wasn't even the top 3.
Who was top 3?
Alisson was the best goalkeeper last year.
Alisson?
Yeah.
Alisson.
If you watched how bad we were and how many good saves he made for game, he was definitely the best goalkeeper. Then Leno outperformed his expected goals the most. Then Edison, because they won the treble. Ramsdale was flapping around and beating his chest and being good, but not the best.
I think Alisson's a bit of a stretch.
I just can't get over how lucky we are to have potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. Because fuck me, we're shit. Anyway, segue. Forget about that. Don't worry about that. Let's talk about some moments. Gabriel Jesus missed a few really good chances when you 1-0 up.
Just one.
Okay, wow.
Just the one.
It was a very big.
It was a big loss.
At a crucial time.
I understand what he was going for. He was just going for the big pump. You know, nick the ball, just smash it past the keeper.
You worried about him? You worried about Jesus and Nketiah?
No. You've got to remember, we were down Martinelli on the left, and then Trossard was injured as well. So we lacked a natural left-sided midfielder.
Do you, though? What about Smith Rowe?
Weird that Smith Rowe didn't play, but then also he's played like 6 minutes this season.
Perfect start for him. Straight in.
It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot.
It's a weird one, though.
I didn't argue with the lineup. I thought the lineup, considering we didn't have certain players, especially on that left-hand side, I thought that was very fair.
Fair enough.
Nketiah, for all his endeavour, just isn't quite up to it.
He's the best backup striker in the league. But that's what he should be. Rotational.
But he is, in these situations. I still think we had a stronger front three than Tottenham.
It's not closer than you'd like it to be, though.
Who did Tottenham have? Kulusevski was very good this game, actually.
Yeah.
Son, obviously, was very good. They have a striker. Brendan Johnson was actually really good before he went off injured.
Was off the left, so Son's the main striker. You'd have taken Son at Arsenal. If you'd had Son at Arsenal, you would have won the game.
We would have won the game if it wasn't for Jorginho.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Came on, got caught. This was the old Jorginho, where it's like, if you want to beat Chelsea, just put a man on Jorginho and just press the shit out of him, and you will get rewards.
He had so much time to do something with that.
Was pretty bad.
It's not like... It wasn't like Maddison, where it was in an instant got nicked.
Yeah.
It was like he almost had too much time and he ended up just tripping over the ball. And to do that right after the pen, which was a pen, let's just not argue with that. It's definitely a penalty. Yeah. It was bad. It was bad.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
I mean,
it was like such a nice, smooth goal. Like, you barely had time to even think. It was one of them where you've scored, he's fucked up immediately, and then it's over. All that momentum is just gone.
Yeah, that was it. It was a dampener. And then that 2-2 was anyone's game. I think Declan Rice going off was a big loss, to be fair. And we didn't have Partey as well to come on. So,
what's the deal with Declan Rice? Is he injured or
back injury, apparently?
Bad? Don't know.
I doubt it. He was on the bench for the second half. Oh, at first I thought he bottled it. There's no way he's asked to come off. And
just couldn't hack it.
Yeah, I was thinking
Didn't
that.
fancy it.
But he wouldn't do that. Apparently it was a back injury, so we'll let him off. But you think of a midfield of Kai Havertz, Odegaard and Jorginho, and you're like, yeah, I sense trouble.
Yeah. Did Havertz come on in this game?
Yeah, came on half. Came on half.
Is that 007?
It is, but it's a silly thing, that, in my opinion.
Is it? Oh, really? That's interesting.
So, for a left-sided midfielder, it's quite weird to give him a 007.
Look, mate, we give 007s to every single big money attacking player. now.
Yeah. I mean, he'll come good. He'll come good. I've actually
I'm really not convinced. I'm really not convinced. I think he's just bad. I think he's just bad.
I don't know. He was so good against PSV. It's those kind of performances, but then you think there was PSV.
Yeah, and it was a cameo.
He started.
Did he? Okay, well, I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's just PSV. They're rubbish. So it's Pit Bosch. Pit Bosch is rubbish manager.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this wasn't on Kai Havertz, this game. Let's be honest. I think there was a bit of a hangover from the Wednesday Champions League victory.
Definitely.
I think if we had a full team, it's ifs and buts, though, isn't it? At the end of the day, we had what we had, and arguably either team could have won it in the second half. But I think that's a testament to Spurs, annoyingly, that either team could have won it, where traditionally we smash them in September.
Yeah, their record away at Arsenal is appalling. I think it's one win in
30 years.
30 years, yeah. So a point is pretty much as good as
it felt like Spurs come away getting one over us, which just ruined my weekend.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, that's what they say for top four. You draw away at your rivals and you beat everyone else. And that's what they've done. The good vibes continue, mate. With Ange at the wheel.
Yeah, credit to them. They're a completely different team. And I said it at the beginning of the season. A lot of Spurs fans laughed at me when I said it was arguably they're better without Kane. Forget his goals and his contributions. If it all centres around one player, then you're not a good team.
That's actually ludicrous, but you're right. Although Harry Kane has now got 7 goals in the Bundesliga, so
it doesn't count.
Goal merchant.
Did you see his performance against Bochum? They don't defend.
I'm not going to lie. Some of that defending that game was unbelievable. Like his through ball for Sané's goal. I was just watching. I was like,
it wasn't a through ball. It was just a massive gap.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It was a through ball.
It didn't make sense.
Anyone could have played it.
Yeah, then I was like, Harry Kane, what a pass. I was like, okay, German football's leagues behind. But there so there you go. We move. Now, Sheffield United 0, Newcastle 8.
How the fuck has this happened? Like, literally, there's just games that make no sense, and this is one of them. Newcastle have scored 8 goals from 8 different goal scorers. I haven't fact-checked this. That feels like a record.
That feels illegal.
It feels illegal, and I just feel like this is it. That's Sheffield United done. They're down now. You know, like last season, Bournemouth lost to Liverpool at 8 or 9-0, and they got rid of the manager, and they turned it around.
Yeah,
this is not going to be one of those times. I don't think Sheffield United look really bad. And
I don't think they can do it because they just don't have a squad that's up to it. They've just sold all their best players.
Yeah, they've got a worse squad than last season. They're getting absolutely battered now. They had that really awful defeat last minute to Spurs last weekend. Now this. How the fuck are you going to pick them up for next week? Like, they're done. I'm going early. They're relegated. It's over.
I think
the dream is over.
I think this might be the worst batch of promoted teams we've had in recent memory.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what everyone's saying. It's the first time all 3 are just going to go straight down because they look noticeably worse than everyone else.
I agree. I mean, Luton don't look up to it, but this is a damning defeat. They just walked all over them, didn't they, Newcastle?
Yeah. I mean, it was a great game for a Newcastle fan, but it's just like, where do you even begin? I think the best player in this game was Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, it was good.
He's very annoying. I think everyone can agree with that. No one likes him, but he's got end product now, and he is genuinely dangerous. Like, he's burnt most of the right backs he's played against this season. He was really good in the Under-21s World Cup as well. He was probably the best England player.
I think he was one of the best players in the squad, wasn't he?
Yeah, he might have even been player of the tournament, bar 1 or 2. But yeah, he looks really good. I thought Harvey Barnes would just take that spot, but he seems to have made it his own as the sort of left winger. And he got a good goal. His assist for the first goal was definitely not allowed. Doesn't really matter when you win 8-0, but just being pedantic, shouldn't have counted.
It doesn't really matter.
I mean, when you go round a player and keep the ball in by giving it a little tap with your hand to keep it in, and then you square it to someone to score.
That's called an Henry special, that.
That's not legit. In the era of VAR, that's impossible to understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that stood. I thought if it was a goal, if it's touch your hand, doesn't matter in what context.
Well, exactly. And if it was in his box, that'd be a penalty. So how is it not an infringement?
Henry special. Inspiring the kids. Irish fans won't like that reminder. We don't have any. It's fine. I don't know where to begin with this. I mean, 8 different goal scorers is absolutely mental, isn't it?
It's very difficult to make notes on a game like this because after a while you just think they've just capitulated. Sheffield United have just capitulated. I think out of about 5-0, some of the goals.
I think they got riled up early on, and then In fairness to Newcastle, absolutely ruthless stuff. 3-0 half time, then score 5 more after the break is it's brutal.
Fun stats: Trippier becomes the first player to get 3-headed goal assists. Very random, very pointless statistic. There you go. Well done, Kieran Trippier.
Kieran.
What a award! You can take that.
To be fair, I'm distraught I didn't put any Newcastle players in my fantasy team this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough week for anyone who didn't have Kieran Trippier in particular. A clean sheet, 3 assists.
Imagine if you triple captained him.
Filth.
Like
this would actually be a great game for that.
54 points plus a bit more for a clean sheet.
Insane. Yeah, extremely, extremely good. It's actually really difficult to pick someone out. I'm just going to pick out a Sheffield United player because it confused me.
Why?
Do you remember Jack Robinson?
No.
Okay, so he was Liverpool's youngest ever debutant. He's a left back. He played at like 16. I was like, any 16-year-old who plays for a first team, you're like, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
He was rubbish, it turns out.
Clearly.
Moved to Sheffield United, and he did one of the most Brexit double challenges I've seen in the Premier League.
Oh, it was a good tackle.
He destroyed someone.
Game's gone mad.
Got up, destroyed another person, got a yellow. Probably quite lucky, but it's just like, it's only 16-year-old fucking Robinson. It was all very confusing for me.
I mean,
but that's something.
It wasn't really a yellow, was it?
It was definitely a red.
No,
it's definitely red.
No, game's gone soft,
out of control. Doesn't matter about
what scoreline. What scoreline was it when that went in? Do you reckon he just lost his head?
I think it was 4-0 at that point, so it wasn't looking good.
How do you pick up a team with an 8-0 loss? But then look at Bournemouth last year.
They did change the manager. So what do you think? Is this the end of Paul Higginbottom's reign? Because we said it last week. He went on this big rant post game about referees and the standard refereeing and all this stuff. And I always think when someone's getting really riled up and going conspiracy theory, it's probably a sign that it's the end of days. And after this,
the optics don't look great.
It's not looking good.
Is it the end? Who'd you bring in? Who would walk into that clusterfuck?
Chris Wilder.
Chris Wilder.
Favourite. Yeah, bring him back. The man, the myth, the legend.
Where is Wilder? Isn't he at Middlesbrough now?
No, he's free agent. Got sacked.
Got sacked as well. Get Neil Warnock in. That's what I say.
I'd love to see that.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
To see that.
Yeah, 8-0 is a staggering defeat, but it's not that surprising. I think we spoke about Sheffield when they came up. They just sold all their best players.
Yeah.
They're not here to try and survive. They're here for the parachute payments, clearly. And yeah, I'm glad you put Paul Heckingbottom in there as well, because I had no idea who their manager was. I had no idea.
I would say, don't worry about it. He's not going to be there much longer. So
I recognise his name, though. He's one of those perennial championship managers, isn't he?
He really is. Yeah. Infamous name because it's so ridiculous.
Heckingbottom.
4 syllables, and to have it as Heckingbottom.
Yeah, it's like Higginbottom.
Yeah.
That's what weird. Footballers always have a name like Heckingbottom or Higginbottom.
Wow.
It's a very football manager kind of.
That feels, very 2000s-y, Just a lot of those sort of lower Premier League Championship names just bounce around.
Well, Heckin has been bottomed. The guy's done.
R.I.P.
Yeah, well played, Newcastle. Do you think it'll kickstart their... I was trying to say kickstart their season, but they've already kickstarted it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they needed a big win because they were pretty awful against Milan midweek. They had one shot. They came for a draw, they got a draw. So, sometimes it works.
Right.
But anyway...
On to Anfield. Jack will be happy.
Yes.
Liverpool 3.
Nick Antonio. What the fuck are you saying, mate? What are you saying now? Did you read his comments?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, exactly. Absolute donkey.
Did he say that we're going to beat them?
He said West Ham are going to finish above Liverpool, and I think he's backing himself to score.
I could see that.
I can never see that. I don't think it's ever happened before.
Statman. We need a statman.
Statman.
Back that.
Producer.
Yeah, producer.
Please fact check me.
Feed it into our ear.
Yeah, but anyway,
Talk us through it then, go on.
So, you could pretty much copy and paste what I'm about to say for every Liverpool game this season. We started horribly. We gave away some really big chances. Alisson had a really good save from a header. And then Antonio just missed a completely free header, just missed the goal. And you're thinking at this point, you're like, I know this script. They're going to score first. Then we're going to struggle. We'll probably grind it out. But West Ham could have been 2-0 up within 10 minutes and they would have deserved it. So the David Moyes plan was working well. Sit back, counter, soak up the press. They had 4 midfielders. So classic David Moyes, 2 lines of 4 with Bowen and Antonio as the sort of willing runners. And yeah, it was dangerous. Okay. camera's just got really blurry. That's interesting. We'll see how this goes in the fucking editing room.
Not looking good.
However, what I will say about Liverpool is that they now have a midfielder in Szoboszlai that adds to the attack in a way that they didn't last season. And it's kind of brought the best out of a lot of those attackers. Salah was great. Núñez was great. Diaz was great. Szoboszlai's excellent. Curtis Jones looks a much better player as well. I feel like Szoboszlai's just improved everyone around him somehow. He is so good. I didn't think he'd be this good, and I'm very grateful that he's here. And so with that firepower, you just think we're just going to beat most of the teams we play. We got a pen. I'm not going to lie, it's probably the most blatant pen I've ever seen in my life. Like the guy just chopped Salah. There was no deliberation. Everyone knew it. Referee was like, that was it. And Salah scored a penalty.
Of course he did. Actually, I say of course he did. He's missed quite a few.
Smashed it down the middle. He's missed more than he's scored recently, so that was nice for him. I guess he's still on pens. And then, after that, it was pretty one-way traffic. Darwin Núñez missed a fucking great chance one-on-one. Just skied it. Literally just missed the goal by a mile. And then scored the most ridiculous volley after McAllister played the ball over the top. And this pretty much sums up Darwin Núñez, I'd say. Like, he doesn't score the easy chances, but anything that's like a volley that he doesn't have to think about, he'll bury it. But so far,
instinctive one, isn't he?
This season, he's looking better. He's looking more comfortable. And I feel like he could be the number 9 that we need, that we hope he could be. It's all there for him. If he can just get a bit more clinical, he's a very fun player. That was it, really. I'll leave you with this stat, because I love stats. David Moyes is a loser. And this is why. 72 games away in his career against the top 4.
Not Moisey slander again.
He's never won away at the traditional top 4. In 72 games. Not one.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Pretty much every other manager in the league has won away. Fucking Steve Cooper at Nottingham Forest has won away. De Zerbi's won away. Teams that are comparable to him. And he's never won away. Not with Everton, not with West Ham, not with anyone.
Let me ask you.
What?
Right. How many conference leagues have you won?
I don't know. We won the Intertoto once, and I don't know where that ranks. That's probably comparable. A trophy that no one really wants, but we'll take it.
So David Moyes is a winner. He's a European champion, right?
He is a European champion, but when it comes to top 4 games away, he's not going to win. Statistically, he has a 0% chance of winning.
I don't know. I reckon he could do it against Chelsea this year. Are we counting them as traditional top 4? No. What is traditional top 4?
So traditional top 4 is Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United and Chelsea. Chelsea has to happen this season.
I City aren't traditional top 4.
No.
I don't think we should use top 4s anymore.
No, but it works for the stats because...
It's actually a top 7.
Yeah, but we can't quantify that because it's like that's the solidified top 4.
Big 7. Fair enough.
The good, the bad. Over 20 years, he's never won away. Loser.
I don't like this Moisey slander.
I'm back. Moisey is... He's just so negative.
No, but I think now West Ham have been decent.
They have, but they've also been playing with 20% possession, and that will catch up with them.
Not necessarily.
They were set up to win here, and they missed their chances, and it cost them.
They had some big chances.
On another day, It could have been a proper smash and grab.
Could have been a masterclass.
But it wasn't.
Do you know what I mean? If anything, you can't take away from him is that he's consistent.
He is consistent. Consistently negative.
We're going to have to agree to disagree. But, I mean, Liverpool, yeah, they're getting back into their pomp. And I feel like after last season, people just kind of rule out Liverpool as a contender.
Yeah. But
this is Liverpool 2.0.
We're looking better now. I do not love the way that we do transfers, though. We've done it for a while. We buy a department. So this summer, we just bought midfielders. Last summer, we just bought attackers. Summer before, we just bought defenders. So it's just like, we just have to do it like this for some reason. I don't know why we do it like that, but I guess next summer we're going to be a complete team because we're going to buy all new defenders and it'll be fine. But we're 2/3 of the way there now. It's looking good. And I'm very happy that we've kept Salah. Most assists in the Premier League this season. Not greedy.
No. He actually gets way more assists than you'd expect.
Yeah.
For the reputation that he has in regards to his supposed selfishness. So, top player, will he stay beyond the summer next year? I
doubt it, and I'd be fine with him going next summer because it gives us time to line something up. I don't know who would replace him. It's really not my job. So
I don't think you can replace him.
No, I don't think we can replace him either. But We'll find a way. We'll find a way. Annoyingly, a player I really like is that Diaby guy at Aston Villa. I think he looks great. He's gone.
Top player.
But,
you could maybe sign him. But let's just enjoy Mo while we can, eh?
Let's just buy Matoma. I love Matoma. He's probably not even that good outside of Brighton, but who cares?
Stop buying Brighton players. We know it's a trap. We know it's a trap. Are they next? Is that a good segue? No, you fucking ruined it with Brentford 1.
My favourite game of the weekend, a.k.a. the Sean Dyche redemption story.
Is it a redemption story?
It's a redemption story.
Is it?
Let me tell you why.
Why?
2 teams have beaten Brentford at home last season.
Which Golding or Hayward?
Oh, hi, Siri.
Sorry, we've got a third host. Siri just jumping in.
Get back in your box.
Not sure what happened there, but yeah, Brentford beat 2 teams. No, 2 teams beat Brentford at home last season. Arsenal, Newcastle. That's it.
2 top teams.
2 top teams. So for Everton to come and do that takes some doing, you know.
Now, I'm going to butt in here. A week ago, Thomas Frank went on Sky Sports and dissected his tactics.
Oh, whose fault is that?
Thomas Frank's.
What a fucking idiot.
And now, right, 3-1 Everton. I don't know why, as a manager, you go on and talk about what you do as a manager and tactics. He literally broke it down. They had the big graphics out.
He actually
talking about why he does this and how his defence sometimes is 5 at the back, pushes up, 2 strikers. Even when I watched it at the time, I thought, I'm sure you're revealing a bit too much here, Thomas. But
what's a moron?
We're just going to ignore the blur. If it carries on blurring like this, then
YouTube's finished, isn't it?
Yeah, just people who watch it must think they're fucked. You know, like proper blur.
Yeah, no amount of HD is going to save this.
No.
Oh, every day is fun with podcasting, isn't it? You buy all the equipment and yet somehow it just decides to blur itself.
It's my curse, man. I told you, electronics just don't agree with me.
So yeah, listen, Hugh's a bit of a technophobe. Everything he touches just doesn't work. Internet, games, computers. There was one period where he couldn't connect his computer to the internet for like a year.
I still can't.
Oh, you still can't? Okay.
I've had to write off the laptop.
Okay, well, that's ongoing.
I just use it as a coaster.
Oh my god.
I know. It's a joke. I haven't even tried. I've given up on that one.
I don't blame you.
Anyway, back to the Sean Dyche masterclass.
It was a masterclass.
Everton were a lot better. Now, give me a reason why that's the case, Jack.
Well, I think, unlike against Arsenal last week, they actually tried to win, which was a great start. They didn't just give up.
That helps.
Yeah.
It does help.
They played about 20 yards higher, so they went back to basics. They had one big man in Beto up front. They had great runners, but they moved everything much closer to the Brentford goal. So when they got the knockdowns, they were within the kind of range to do something, whether it's have a shot or play someone in, as opposed to just winning the ball in the sort of centre circle and then just losing it immediately. So they were much more aggressive. They played in a way that made the most of set pieces, as you'd expect from Everton. Tarkowski was excellent, both defensively and offensively. And this was a true victory made in Brexit Burnley, inspired by Tarkowski, McNeil and Sean Dyche. He knows what he likes, and it was great to see. Toure was great. When he's great, he's great. Calvert-Lewin came on and scored a nice goal after a big mistake set up by James Garner. And yeah, it was just one of those things where Everton haven't been playing as bad as it looks statistically. Like their XG was high.
No, they have.
It's just that they played Neil Maupay for the first 4 games. And now they've got Beto. He's bigger, he's better, and he's exactly what Sean Dyche needs. He's a Chris Wood. They found 2 Chris Woods now in DCL. So they got Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood. It's all there now.
DCL to Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes.
But that's his role. Big man, wins a knockdown, scores some goals.
There was a time when people spoke about DCL like one of the best strikers in the league. The fall from grace is outrageous. But I'm glad he got on the score sheet. Good for him.
Yeah, he's back on the score sheet. Had a little nibble with the Everton fans after, just saying like, last week they booed me, now they cheer me. It's funny, isn't it, football?
Who said that?
DCL.
DCL? They're booing DCL.
They did last week when he came off.
It's a bit fucking harsh, isn't it?
It's a bit unnecessary for their main hope.
They don't help themselves, these Everton fans, by being negative, do they?
No, they don't. They don't. But yeah, a great win for Everton. They really needed it. And honestly, I feel confident that Sean Dyche is going to keep them up because we know who's going down. Sheffield United, Luton and Burnley. So it's fine.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
They are so much better than all three of those teams.
But on this performance, up until now, they've been pretty comparable, haven't they?
Oh, they've been awful.
They've been awful.
But I think buying Beto as a backup striker to Calvert-Lewin or a rotational or even a 4-4-2, I honestly think it's so important because like they just don't have to play Neil Maupay ever again. He's just so bad.
It's a very Everton signing, Maupay.
He is not that good, definitely overpriced, and doesn't really contribute anything.
No, he's just a bit of a twat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. And this is, I honestly think 90% of why Brighton had a bad XG, or a good XG but bad goals, was because they played Neil Maupay.
Yeah.
Everywhere he
I
goes.
feel like he was the last signing of like their old style, and then they just went up a gear.
Yeah,
Just
they were like,
signed
should
some
we,
incredible players.
should we score some players who score goals?
Should we sign like Evan Ferguson?
Yeah, should we just stop fucking around and actually be a serious football team?
Let's talk about Brighton, but let's take a break first. We'll be back.
Sort out the video.
And sort out this video, unless it needs sorting out. Who knows? And then we'll do some Brighton stuff because we love Brighton. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Well, not goodbye. We'll see you in a sec.
Welcome back to From the Backseat Football Podcast. We are talking about Brighton because Brighton are great. Brighton 3, Bournemouth 1. Wait, what?
Nothing.
What are you doing?
I was just going to start talking really loudly, but you know what? I can't be asked.
Yeah, I had a word of you because he was being a little mouse in the first half.
Sorry, guys. I'm being a bit shy today. So I'm going to talk louder because that's what the algorithm likes, is people talking loudly with outrageous opinions.
The key is to be loud, outrageous, and...
You know what? It's actually
upset a
true.
lot of people.
No one's going to watch that first half because I was just being too neutral.
We need you in good form. We need you just rolled up. For no
You know what it
reason.
is about Brighton and Hove?
Go on.
It's full of gays.
What?
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's factually accurate.
That's why I
I'm
don't...
worried about where this is going, though, because I'd really like to keep this part. But...
That's why I support Bournemouth over them. It's more straight people there.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Cool. Okay.
Let's see if the algorithm enjoys that.
Yeah.
Full disclaimer, we both live
Yeah, that is true. I would never move to Bournemouth.
You've offended Brighton fans and Bournemouth fans simultaneously.
Exactly. In
Strong.
less than a minute?
Strong.
Yeah. Let's see if we can keep that up. So, no, stop it. Brighton went behind.
They did. Very, very astute of you. Please tell me, what was the goal like?
Great play from Christie.
Oh,
He's popped it over to Sterling. It's a great finish.
unbelievable finish.
1-0 Bournemouth away from home. Who would have thought?
Not
You're
me.
thinking, not me either. You know, maybe there was a hangover on Brighton's side. Shock loss to, was it Athens?
Yeah, AK
Thursday.
Athens. 3-2
What
at home.
happened there?
You don't expect that.
What happened there?
But
Ansu Fati full debut went to shit.
get rid of him, send him back. He's a
Rip.
fraud.
He's a fraud. Unbelievable. But I feel like Brighton always win 3-1 or 4-1.
They actually do.
Yeah.
Every game this season.
Pretty much. Is it actually?
I think it is, yeah.
Wow.
They've either won or lost every game 3-1 or 4-1 this season.
I'd be happy with that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Like I think they've scored the second most goals this season so far. They're third in the table, 5 wins out of 6. Best ever start to a Premier League season. They played shit in the first half.
He did.
As you so eloquently described the Bournemouth goal, it was the Brighton goalie, not Jason Steele, whoever the other one is, the new one.
Oh,
That one.
Mm-hmm.
He was, he was teasing him. He was like, come get the ball so I can do the trap. And then he actually just gave the ball straight to Christie and just got chipped by Solanke into an open goal. So it doesn't always work trying to be clever, but it's all part of the process, 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, we would have been like, what an embarrassing philosophy. And now everyone's just like, it's fine. Part of the process. You accept that sometimes you're going to leak really bad goals. And then they brought Matoma and they just proceeded to absolutely destroy Bournemouth. He pretty much single-handedly destroyed them. He got the ball and he basically ran through 2
He got the ball and he scored.
And he scored with the outside of his foot when there was no angle. He was so close to the goal.
He is, when he's on form, he is a top player.
He's so direct. It's actually, it's just too much. Like, there's always been a rule in football. If you just run at people, it's very disconcerting trying to defend it. Like,
He has got that kind of. He's a very good judger of space,
yeah,
especially at high speeds. It's almost like he knows. He does know. He knows exactly kind of the touch that he needs to take. You know, it's like when it's really hard to explain, especially after a beer, but he'll touch the ball the perfect amount of kind of distance away from him so that he'll be able to then touch the ball round a player. It's all very deft.
Like, he's running, but he's not just running. He's
calculating how much distance he needs to knock the ball through his next and predicting what the defender's going to do in real time, which is truly impressive. The problem I have with Brighton is it's just not enough straight people.
Oh my God. Let us out of this section.
Yeah, and the Green Party just ruining that city.
Yeah, it's outrageous. How dare they?
Fucking outrageous.
Trying to get rid of cars, mate, in Brighton.
Honestly.
All those wind farms, trying to get clean energy. Give me gas.
If I see one more rainbow flag, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I'm
Game's gone.
Have to fucking write about it on the Daily Mail forums. How do I accept this?
One of my favourite places to be.
Mm.
In amongst the toxicity, just soaking it up.
I think I have potential as a right wing.
You do, because it's actually surprisingly easy, because you just say things that are really fucking offensive.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like, if I kept that up, there might have been 5 people that would be like, he's right, you know.
Yeah. Our listeners just jumped. We're like, oh dear.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, finally someone's saying it.
Yeah. Maybe we should have just done that from the start.
What, just new personas, right wing activists?
Yeah, just go against everything we were ever taught in pursuit of clout and attraction.
They do say you have to sell your soul to make it, so it's one of them. Maybe we start doing those Illuminati symbols, you know, what's it, the Bauhaus? It's one of these, isn't it?
I sell my soul.
Well, if anyone's bidding, Hugh's up.
Yeah, 100 subs and you can have my soul.
No gas.
Again, road to 100 subs. Now, Bournemouth.
Not very good at football, I'd say.
Haven't really started this season, if I'm being honest.
Nah, I think all of that faff around getting a new manager and new personality, they're going to be so high pressing, they're going to be so hard to play. Actually, just very, very much the same as before.
Same, but different. But it's a bit more continental than Gary O'Neill, and we all love it, a bit of excitement.
It is, but it's also less effective.
Yeah, Gary O'Neill's doing bits over with Wolves. Well, actually,
he's not doing bits for Wolves. He was doing bits last season.
We're not even covering Wolves, so, sorry, Wolves. But they're looking all right this season, in my opinion. They've just been unlucky. Can't say the same for Bournemouth. Although Bournemouth did look okay for about 10 minutes, Anfield.
Yeah, but we like to do that. We like to give everyone a good 10 minutes of fun.
True.
We're quite.
I like how you said they were getting banged at the Amex.
Yeah, they were getting banged.
Getting banged.
The Amex.
It's just like Brian. Isn't it?
I want to give a shout out to just the topsy turvy nature that is Chelsea and Brighton and their relationship. Chelsea sold Billy Gilmore. I said at the start of the season, Billy Gilmore probably replaced Caicedo because I don't know of any other defensive midfielders. And he is playing great this season in that defensive midfield role.
He is.
Just knocking the ball around, being a bit of a deep line playmaker. Caicedo struggling a bit within Chelsea as well. And you think, that just sums it up. Like, Brighton got 111 million for Caicedo. They spent about 4 of it on Billy Gilmore. And they're no worse. Arguably, they got better again. So, my point is this. Don't do business with Brighton because they're too good.
They're a system team. Don't get fooled. Although McAllister's doing all right at Liverpool. But then he's not excelling.
He's not as good, though. He is good, but he's not as good.
Is there one Brighton player? Trossard.
Trossard is much better.
Probably maintained.
Ben White is better.
Ben White. Yeah.
It can be done.
Brighton players should just come to Arsenal.
It can only be done at Arsenal. Otherwise, it's impossible.
But in regards to Brighton Chelsea, what you're saying is Brighton are the top and Chelsea at the bottom.
Yeah, very much so. I'd say so, yeah. Okay. Brighton are the dominant one, and Chelsea are the sub-dominant.
The little twink.
Pretty much.
So on to Twinkie behaviour. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to this. But now it's almost like Harry Maguire, Chelsea.
It's gone on too long
gone
now.
on it's not even funny anymore. I mean, it is. But
It is funny. And they lost again. Chelsea nil, Aston Villa 1. Great stats. Hugh doesn't agree with all these stats, but I'm just going to throw them out there and
can someone
just fact check me, correct me. I dare you. Correct me. I dare you.
do it?
Correct me.
Prove them
Go
wrong.
on.
Prove them wrong because I don't believe this. Like this first one, I don't believe.
Enzo Fernandez. How many games has he won since joining Chelsea where he's played? 1. 1 game.
Don't know about this.
The games Chelsea have won, he hasn't played.
I don't know about this. He joined in January. It's September.
I know.
No,
But don't forget Frank Lampard was in charge and they were absolutely diabolical.
No, that's true.
They only won about 4 games last season from January.
They are in relegation form right now, which is quite shocking.
Here's some other great stats. Chelsea have won the fewest games in the Premier League in 2023 of anyone, including Leeds, Southampton and Leicester.
That's fucked up.
Right?
That's fucked up.
They all went down.
That's fucked up.
It continues. They've scored 38 goals in the Premier League in 2023. 4 more than Everton, who are last. And Everton are truly the worst team I think we've ever seen this season. Last season.
They're competing for just absolute trash, aren't they? But then this is just reverting to the norm for Chelsea. You know, pre-2005, they were just a cup team.
You think this is it? It's finally happened. Like that deal with the devil has finally collapsed.
I feel like Bowley and Clearlake and Egbali just view it as it's a commodity. They don't buy these players with a purpose. They buy these players to increase the value of the club.
But I just don't think they've managed to do any of that. I don't think there's one player they've bought who's worth more than they bought them for currently.
No, yeah, it's true. They've massively overpaid, but I guess as an asset, Chelsea now are worth more. I mean, what's the angle here?
I don't even
Do they
know.
really think they're improving the team at this point? Did they learn nothing from last season?
I mean, the team is just...
You know, Enzo
Just
Fernandez is like a
objectively worse.
marquee player, isn't it? He brings the profile up. Arguably, Chelsea have a bigger profile now.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah,
And
I
N'Golo
don't know.
Kante, who was a much bigger profile, I think, than any of their players. Azpilicueta, international. There's probably others. Fuck me.
They're buying players with potential resale value, aren't they?
Yeah, but every game that resale value goes down, they're not going to make any money on that.
They're certainly going to make money on Caicedo, that's for sure.
They won't make money on Enzo, Caicedo. Who else they bought? Badashile, they might make money on. They might make. Augusto, maybe. Mudryk, definitely not. Absolutely not. It's all just pointless, really. This was just a pointless thing that they've done. If they had not touched it, they'd be in a better state. If they bought no players, like 0, they'd be in a better state.
They've sold really well. I think they've raised like over 200 million sales this summer. Let's not forget that. That's way better than any other big team. But
yeah, but
they've
at
sold
what
their
cost?
core players.
They've just got worse. It's like any team could make 200. Liverpool could just go, we're going to sell Salah, we're going to sell Van Dijk, we're going to sell Alisson, we're going to sell them all.
Well, let's list them out, right? You've sold Pulisic, Loftus-Cheek, Havertz, Mount. There's more. Kovacic,
Azpilicueta,
Asp.
Kepa's gone on loan.
Kepa's gone on loan. There's more. There'll be more.
There's always more.
There's more. That's 7, though. That's 7 key players that they've lost. Edward Mendy.
Kante's gone.
Kante, 9. That's basically way more than half of their Champions League team.
Yeah.
So that's pretty insane. And when you do that...
Lukaku's gone. Not that I wanted
that
to.
doesn't really matter. But do you know what I mean? I know this is a dumb thing to say, but anyone knows that much kind of turnover of staff in any business will cause problems, right? Football's not impervious to that. If I lost half of my team tomorrow and I got a whole new shiny new young team in with potential, it would take months to sort it out. It would take months
100%.
to get to the same level that they were at, regardless of any other aspects. So they've just fucked it, really.
They actually have fucked it though, because now they'll probably have to pivot and start buying really experienced players at a premium to fill the void of the premium players they sold on the cheap. It's all just a mess. But I don't like Chelsea, so I enjoy it. But it is it is getting a bit embarrassing now.
But the thing is, there's a pattern. They play well. They get a good XG. They look like they deserve to win.
Yeah.
And then they lose.
Yeah.
Then they lose.
Because they played well this game. They had most of the chances for the first half, really. Sterling was a bit greedy, missed a few.
Nicholas Jackson
is
Wonderful.
just...
Pre-season Nicholas Jackson really Really raised
he
expectations.
did trick us a bit, didn't he? Because he was looking so good.
Not me.
Yeah, he tricked me. I was like, God, now this guy, who is this guy? He's got like 6 goals in 2 games.
He looked good. He looked good.
But now he's got 5 yellow cards in 6 games and he's banned for a game.
Yeah, for dissent as well. It's all going wrong for Poch. Poch is looking well out of his depth.
What do you think? Chelsea mood's getting bad. Lots of booze, toxic. Do you think Poch is... How many more losses until Poch is in danger? Because they've got 1 point so far.
Poch isn't the problem, just like Potter wasn't the problem, though. The problem is also Chelsea fans from 2005, notoriously strong at Stamford Bridge. You think of Mourinho all the way through to really the start of Tommy Tuchel's reign. They would always win at the Bridge.
I know.
It's a tough game.
And now it's just...
No,
it's expected.
Anyone can win. If you look at... I remember Arsenal, like, we would always lose. And then we beat them like 1-0 once. It was like maybe 3 years ago during the pandemic. And that was just... If you look at their form against the top 6 in the last 3 years, shocking. At home, I mean.
Yeah. Whereas lost all of that aura that they had.
The malaise, the decline, however you want to call it, happened way before this season or last season. It just hasn't been addressed. And all this influx of new players and players leaving, it's just not going to help, is it?
I just don't understand how you fix it.
You don't.
There's always an easy choice, which is just keep firing the manager until something works.
Well, Chelsea used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked. But they could retain the players.
I mean, yeah. They've bought about 50 players. They're on their 3rd manager in a year. And they're like 16, 50?
4th manager in a year?
4th manager in a year?
Tuchel, Potter, Lampard, Poch.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Are we going to count Bruno because he did manage 1 game?
5, technically.
Go on then.
Yeah, go on then.
Flipping heck.
So it's not looking good. We haven't even spoken about the game. Was it a red card?
I'm going to say no, to be honest. Honestly, it was no different from Jack Robinson's challenge. It was a bit...
You know what? It's because it was on the ankle, right? It always looks worse when it hits him on the ankle.
It was a bit naughty, but... Yeah, it was just unnecessary, I'd say, more than anything. Just a really stupid thing to do. And I feel really silly because I gave him a lot of credit last week saying that he was really good. And I've learnt my lesson. I will not praise any more Chelsea players with fake praise.
Oh, you should, because maybe they'll just continue. And their run of games, Chelsea, coming up now is shocking.
Yeah. They could be in the relegation zone by the time we get to the end of October.
Wouldn't even surprise me.
No.
If they go to the Championship, I don't think they'll be bouncing back up.
Well, I can't
believe we're talking about they actually could go to the Championship.
It's just like their form is so bad.
They're so lucky that the rest of the relegation candidates are dog shit this year.
They are truly.
Not like last year.
Truly. God. Anyway, shout out to Villa. They played well. Didn't play that well, to be honest, but played well enough to get the win. Emi Martinez was the best player. He was... You know, what do you think about a good Emi Martinez performance? He saves a lot of stuff.
Shithouse.
He did a little fist pump as well at one point. Just giving it like... Yeah.
Good saves, though. Good goalie.
He's very, very good, and he looks big. I know it's a very simplistic thing to say, but a lot of goalkeepers look small. He looks massive.
He's a big lad. He's a big lad.
Like, he's very imposing.
But he's also just like muscular and just big. Yeah. You know?
But like, he's just a very imposing thing. And when he's on form, you just can't see him being beaten.
No.
He was good. Ollie Watkins scored the winner. I don't really like Ollie
through
Watkins.
Raya's legs as well, eh?
Yeah, well, he had his first shot saved, and then he scored the rebound through Raya's legs. And
Raya?
Not Raya. Who's it?
Who is he?
Sanchez.
Oh, they got Sanchez now, haven't they?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I always get those two confused because Brighton and Brentford goalies who both moved to London clubs. Same person, really.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ollie Watkins. That's why I kept him on FPL. He come good for me.
You did well.
Come good for me today.
But yeah, Sanchez is just...
Meh.
It's a weak goalie.
Meh.
It's not really it.
He's a system player.
Yeah.
Chelsea haven't learnt nothing. They have learnt nothing.
What else has he ended up as first choice?
How much money have they given to Brighton? Maybe just under 200 mil since last year.
Over 200 mil.
Graham Potter was like, what, 20 mil?
20 mil. Cucurella was like 60 mil.
Oh, I forgot about Cucurella.
Yeah.
Well over 200 then.
So that's 191 with Caicedo immediately. Plus all the backroom stuff. That's over 200.
And then Sanchez was about 20. So
Yeah.
250. Tony Bloom, masterclass. Absolute masterclass.
The Don.
Daddy Bloom. Right, we're moving on. Enough Chelsea slander. Man City 2, Forest. I can't be bothered, mate.
What's the point? Yeah, this was over after 15 minutes. How boring. How boring. No one likes you, Man City, because you're too good. It's boring.
Yeah.
It's like when you play FIFA on semi-pro and you win every game 5-0.
Well,
And you're like,
semi-pro, it's like amateur now.
yeah, and you're just like, I'm not even having fun anymore. Football is not fun for you. You're too good, and you're making it not fun for everyone else. You're bullying us.
You're ruining the product now.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. You go, man, you lose your most influential midfielder in the 46th minute.
And you just carry on.
Just carry on.
Carry
Canter is the most disgusting part.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's talk about the red card because it's the main talking point.
It was red.
It was red.
Silly boy.
Very fun.
Massive overreaction from Morgan Gibbs-White, but what do you expect him to do in that situation? Do you know what I mean? Don't give him the excuse.
And also, Rodri would have done the same. He would have gone straight down.
Gotcha.
Oh.
The only
Taker.
apparently Rodri's going to miss the Arsenal game though, so I'm fucking buzzing for that.
Feeling good about that?
It's the only hope we've got if Rodri's not playing.
He is.
They'll still win.
They will still win.
They'll still win.
But Calvin Phillips will probably have to play, I guess. Or
It's a big drop off. Big drop off.
Yeah, it does make it a bit more interesting, but they're just
The fact that that's the only happy takeaway from it's just mental, isn't it? They're just too good, Man City. It's a joke.
They weren't even that good in this game, but it's just like now that they don't concede any goals and they always score within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it's really no point playing the rest of the game. I feel like everyone would just be happy. Just 2-0, cool, we tried our best.
Yeah.
That's it, save the fitness.
That's the thing, Forest just weren't brave enough. They were defeated even after Rodri went off.
You say that, but got more great stats. Got so many stats for this episode. I had time. You reading that stat? In 271 Premier League matches for Pep at City, they've had less shots than the opposition 11 times. That's it. So they dominate everyone. They always have more shots than everyone. This was the 12th time that the opposition had more shots. So Forest were positive. They had more shots than City. They weren't very good shots, but they did have chances. They did at least try and go for it after they went a man up. Didn't really make a big difference, but they
Burnley 0. Man United. I'm sick of it. Like, as if we're clinging on to a stat. Like, Forest had more shots.
Yeah, Forest had more shots. That XG was horrible.
I'm not fucking having it. Fuck City, alright? I hate it, right? Okay.
Fucking shit. I hope they go down. I wait for the FFP verdict.
Oh, they'll get out of it as well.
Yeah.
They will wriggle out of it. You know they will. You know they will.
It's already wriggled out.
Let's go on to the more fun side of Manchester, right? Burnley 0, United 1. Potential banana skin for Manchester United, but they come away with the 3 points. And they needed that. They needed that after a very tumultuous week on and off the field for them. Against Pep Guardiola acolyte, who's doing absolutely dog. He's
doing terribly.
I wonder how long company's got before they give him the boot.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
But they really backed him, didn't they? They
Everyone's
bought a
hyping
lot
him
of
up.
players, yeah.
Do you know what they didn't buy, though?
Well,
A goal scorer.
classic Burnley.
Who's their striker?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know their team anymore.
No. They have some good players, but they have no one who scores goals, basically. And that is a really big problem. I feel like, honestly, there's such a dearth of good strikers. That's why Forest are going to be fine. They've got Awanini. Anyone with a good striker is going to stay up. That's basically the rule. Because there's so few of them. Burnley don't have any. They got Lyle Foster. That's their main man.
I don't even know who that is.
Never heard of him.
No. He sounds like a championship player to me.
He really does. He has got Che Adams written all over him.
Yes. Yeah.
Just average.
That's
goals.
pigeonholing, but
Yeah.
I have to agree. I did see Fernandes' goal. That was lovely, that.
What do you think about it?
It was a good goal.
It's pretty nice.
It's a good show.
Channeling is Robin Van Persie.
Is he the best attacking midfielder in the league? No.
No. And even if he is, no one likes him, so he can never be.
Hate him.
He's got an annoying face, and he's only good when he decides to play football and stop crying, which is not very often.
He's hard to love, but I understand. When I was in Lisbon actually last week, he's come from Sporting Lisbon, hasn't he? Sorry.
Yeah. Has he?
I think they're called Sporting Portugal up there.
What?
Yeah.
That's very assumptuous. Sporting Portugal. Well, so here we could just be like...
So I Google that because I actually have not a clue, but I remember...
So we're just going to be like...
We just call them Sporting Lisbon because they're in Lisbon.
They're called Sporting Portugal.
There you go, yeah, look.
What?
Sporting Club de Portugal. We just call them Sporting Lisbon. Anyway, tangent over.
That's a good bit of history.
They love him. So I guess the takeaway from that is if he does play for your team, it's like a siege mentality. You know, you back him.
Well, yeah, I can relate. We had Luis Suarez. He was just a deplorable person.
He is a Luis Suarez kind of player.
And you're like, I'm so glad we've got him on our team.
But they need a wonder goal to beat Burnley. That's the worrying thing.
Yeah. It wasn't great, but they got it done.
They got the job done.
And Johnny Evans made his 200th appearance. No one saw that coming.
Asked me a year ago. Their back four was what? Evans?
No.
Lindelof? Reguilon?
Yeah.
And Dallo.
That's so Chris and Onana.
And Onana. You know, what's going on there?
Yeah. From David De Gea, Luke Shaw, Varane, probably Harry
Maguire. Or Lissandro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lissandro.
Wan-Bissaka.
What a fucking drop-off that is.
Yeah. But United are on their knees. There's a lot of pressure on Ten Hag this one. But then there was this time last season. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to... Let's talk about it before we sign off. The Rashford slander. Where do you stand on this? Man United fans basically hate Rashford at the moment because he doesn't track back, but he's never tracked back. It seems like a hard stick to beat someone with, and that was never his game anyway.
It's one of them where if he's not scoring every game, then it's very easy to criticise him. We do love effort in England. We value effort above skill and output. So,
well, if there's no output, then it has to be effort.
Exactly. The minimum expectation is effort, and then the truly elite players are effort and skill, you know. So in the absence of scoring any goals and being quite selfish, also not tracking back, you're like, he's not playing for the club. I get it. It would annoy me.
Would it?
Because it's like you only accommodate like players like Neymar, Messi because they guarantee you goals.
Surely Rashford for United should be in that bracket.
Yeah, but if you look at his record over the last 6 months, it's pretty bad. He's not scored many goals since he got his contract.
No, but he went for a purple patch, you know.
Exactly.
He's not a consistent goal scorer.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but it's not all on him. Like, why is no one else scoring goals?
True, but he's the only one who's on 400k a week. So Sancho's also getting a lot of stick.
Less said about that, the better.
I do get it. I just feel like everyone should have to track back. If you don't track back, you're not really doing your bit.
I feel like it's like an English thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But it's like all the best teams, everyone's working really hard.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an elite team who works as hard as a shit team, then there's nothing you can do. The only reason shit teams beat good teams is because they all work harder. They try. They're a better unit. It's the only real way.
I think it's harsh still, but I understand. It's like when the going gets tough, people get testy, and it's a very tough time for United right now. Like, I don't see them competing like they were last year. I just don't know if they look any better than they did last year.
I think they look worse.
They look a lot worse.
Onana seems extremely bad at goalkeeping currently.
He'll get used to it.
Yeah, I knew he'd bring the fun, but I assumed there'd be good stuff mixed in it as opposed to just being quite bad.
He's just not a very good goalie yet.
Yeah, because he was really good in the Champions League final. I saw it. He was really good for Inter against Man City.
Just needs time. They all do. You know, Mason Mount his time. Højlund will come good. He looks pretty good.
Nah, he's rubbish.
Højlund?
He's going to be a flop.
No.
He's going to be a flop.
No, I watched him against us. He looked really good.
Didn't score, though.
It causes trouble.
Doesn't matter. It's all about output at Man United, I think.
I don't know. Agree to disagree. And on that note, we're going to leave it. There's 2 games that we didn't talk about. Luton 1, Wolves 1, Palace 0, Fulham 0. Nothing to say.
Nah,
rubbish
they're all going down.
games.
Send them all down.
We're so keen for that 1 hour cut-off. So thank you very much for listening. It's good to be back.
Yes. If you have any questions or you want to fact check me, you can email us on fromthebackseatfieldpodcast@gmail.com. Socials.
Send
Twitter.
us hate.
Send us hate.
Send us hate.
We'll send it back.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.